Hi guys, my name is UJ and you're welcome to Moments with Grace Video. I am so passionate about women conversations.
If you see someone else who's worth as much or more, you appreciate it.
You won't hear from there. Look at her. Yeah. No, I mean there's so much to tap from. Why are you hating? Look somewhere else.
Right now, I'm not in a relationship. But if I'm dating somebody, I want to do everything.
Yeah.
Some people lie, and it's normal. I mean, someone can have a really big car but not have money in the bank.
How can a man get to you, Esther? I like a man who is confident enough to show the world that he's in love with me.
Assurance, baby.
We're not having a conversation about men without drinking to it. Today on the show, I am so excited. I can't even keep it to myself. I am so excited today because I was able to drag in some very special men into my studio, and it took me a whole lot of time to convince them to come here. Today's episode is going to be graceful because I have some graciously handsome men, Roland, and of course Chidi.
Hi.
Thank you for being able to come here. I know how busy we both can be, so it feels really awesome. I feel
I'm really
honored.
excited to be here.
But I mean, it's an amazing thing to have very amazing people. It goes with everything about your personalities are just amazing. So whatever thing I have to say today will definitely, stay around amazing. Thank you for being a part of the show today. And today, as always, I'm bringing the juice. We're going to talk about bay allowance. No, I don't want your faces to go that way. I don't know what the facial expressions are for, but definitely we're going to talk about it. I want to understand why it is fast becoming a standard in a relationship for a man to put his woman on a monthly allowance. I think it's a very wonderful gesture, but I just don't understand if it's something that should continue. Do you think it helps the relationship to flourish? Roland?
Well, I mean, yes and no. Yes, because, you have to think about where your partner is. I mean, if your partner is financially stable, your partner wouldn't want the day allowance. If your partner is probably doing better than you, your partner wouldn't want the day allowance. But, if you have the understanding, why not? You should support your partner.
So you're saying that if the partner is doing better, that she would not want it?
Yeah, I mean, it goes.
But I always want it. When I'm doing, but why would you even say that?
Well,
There's something different about eating your man's money.
I agree.
We want to chop the money. We don't want to know whether we are doing better. Do you understand?
I
So what you're saying now, I don't agree.
Yeah, but I mean, in a nutshell, yes, I think that, from a financial standpoint,
Okay.
absolutely. I think it's fantastic.
Great. Chidi, what do you have to say about this?
I mean, my opinions are quite.
Okay.
Yeah, they vary because it's a function of a lot of things. First, it's financial capabilities.
Right.
So how well to do are you both in the relationship? If the man has money and the woman has money as well, the point of an allowance or cash gifts is just for fun purposes. It's not like it's a necessity or anything.
Yeah.
The idea that women like to chop men's money, it's an idea etched in and the popularity of the patriarchy, where the man is supposed to do the providing, and what the woman has to do is eat the money. We've come to a point where we know that we're pushing for equality and everything. And we know that what a man is able to do financially, a woman can also do financially. So if there's an enabling environment and we both have money, there's no point calling it a financial allowance. I mean, all the women I've been with, a lot of the women I've been with, I randomly just send them money. Most of the time, it's not that they need it. Right? I randomly just send them money. It's not an allowance. It's just, you're beautiful. Buy yourself.
I'm
trying to send you flowers and I couldn't read the flower guys. Take this one. Stuff like that. So it's not like a fixed allowance that comes on the monthly basis. But then if I fall in love with somebody who's not as financially well to do as they are, and we're in a relationship and say she's going back to school or she's pregnant or something, I find a way to ease her burden. So if it means putting her on an allowance on a monthly basis, then fine. But generally, I think we're getting to a point where we're beginning to unnormalize it. Everybody
Yeah.
has their own money.
Yeah.
If we're coming together as a family to pool resources, that's a different thing entirely. But the bay allowance, the dependency on the bay allowance, it kind of puts power in the hands of one person.
True.
Takes out power from the other person.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because you see that most women who actually believe their man is supposed to give them a monthly allowance, they start to feel entitled towards it. It's like, oh, you're supposed to give me this. And I heard a few girls talking in the salon one day, and one of them says, oh, I make my nails for 25,000, and if you're going to be a part of my life, you're going to start spending that 25,000 naira. You're going to send it to me every week for my nails. And you could sense that stench of entitlement coming from them. So yeah, one hand is good, another hand you're enabling that sense of entitlement. It's like, oh, this is my right and I have to do it. So honestly, it makes sense that what you said, should be unnormalized at this point.
Yeah.
Again, women like to, have fine things around them, and I don't know if it's materialism or them being materialistic though, but how do you express love to a woman in the most simple ways without exactly giving her money? Because I feel like everything about women, it's just expensive. The shoes, the clothes, the hair, just one way or the other, you're definitely going to dish out money and be like, okay, babe, get this, and you're saying, oh, you're trying not to make her, feel entitled, you're trying to, unnormalize it. But when you think about it, you definitely have to do that. So how do you go about it?
I think the first thing to do is understand that every woman is different. There's no manual, right? There's somebody who likes chocolate, another person likes
I
chocolate.
don't like chocolate.
You see, someone else likes traveling. There's somebody who likes flowers. Somebody else will be like, flowers are not functional gifts.
Yeah.
Change my car tire. There's somebody who just wants you to come to their office and drop lunch. There's somebody who wants you to cook for them. So the idea for me is whoever it is you're with, love them in the language they want to be loved. Whatever it is, if it requires spending money and you can afford to spend that money and you like them enough to do it, go ahead. Some people just even like credit cards.
Yeah.
I know somebody who probably has more money than I am, but she just likes to see because she has money, she's always spending for other people. And then you're her man, you want to make her happy, and you're just like, you know what, you spend too much on other people. Take this 100K, buy yourself lunch. And her face just lights up, and her day just changes. And even though she makes way more than that, the fact that she didn't work for it, she didn't have to work for it, she didn't have to ask for it, it just came in, makes her happy. So just do whatever it is that makes the person you're with happy and flourish.
That's it. That's absolutely, it summarizes everything.
Yeah.
Do you want to add something?
Absolutely. I think that one of the most interesting things about, love is that when they come up with the idea of love languages, you talked about how everyone is different. That's absolutely true. Beyond just talking about flowers and chocolates, and it is amazing how if you have a conversation with a woman, you can realize how much more she's, either geared towards looking at certain things like practical functional gifts, like changing my tire and all of that.
Yeah, true.
Or some of the stuff that are a little bit not less practical, maybe chocolate, trips, and all of that. I think it's important to take that test about, where you get a sense of what the person's love language is. And that's the best way to actually get a sense of how you can love the person. I've fallen for this several times where I'm doing the most, and this person feels like you're not even scratching the surface because I'm speaking the wrong language.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. You see why I said these men are special? Look at all the amazing things they have to say. Now, moving forward, we're still on the money talk because it's super important to have this talk. And I think, surprisingly, this is one of the most controversial aspects of relationships, money. It always causes issues all the time. Now, I want to talk about financial compatibility. I feel like this is a conversation that people skip in their relationships, like they're running away from it. I don't think it's such a huge conversation, but when you look at it, technically it actually is a huge conversation. And I really want us to talk about this right after we take a break. conversation. We're talking about financial compatibility in relationships, and this is a very crucial matter based off so many stories that I've heard about couples who have separate from each other, or probably have like loads of issues because of money, and this is basically because they didn't have these conversations before going into marriage. Now, let's have that conversation. Tell me what you think about financial compatibility in a relationship. Why do you think people need to be compatible to even get married?
Well, that's a very interesting question.
Mhm.
But a lot more people are talking about Japa compatibility now. All of these things are important. You don't want to have a husband who is interested in living abroad and a wife who's interested in living in Nigeria or living in different parts of the abroad. If you say, but then at the end of the day, if you cannot do these things, obviously it comes down to money. So having those conversations about how upwardly mobile your partner is would actually determine whether or not, you're going to be compatible. They may not have money right now, and that's for me is very crucial. Not having money now is not a problem. But just the person's ability to turn their situations around, become upwardly mobile, and grow. That's what matters. So having that conversation about where they are, for me, I like to practicalize it. Do you have loans that I don't know about?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a gambling problem that can, suck out money? What debt do you have to family and friends? That, all of that.
Super important.
All of those things are very important. And if the person is able to have those conversations very frankly with their partner, it'll be a lot easier for them to get a financial picture even before they go into the whole discussion about weddings and marriages, which, don't forget, cost money in these parts of the world.
Yes.
And then, of course, it's easier to even plan for the kind of small marriage or relationship that you can have towards, getting married and all of that. So that's why I think you should have that conversation.
Thank you so much, Roland. I absolutely, what other word do I need to use to show you that I absolutely agree with you on that? What are you going to tell me now, Chidi?
So it's like you said, completely agree. It's a conversation that must be had. I'm not exactly sure what the figures are, but you know how they say infidelity is one of the biggest reasons people divorce. It's actually finances that is the biggest reason why people marriages actually crash and end. And this doesn't even account for the marriages that are still being held by the cracks. There's a lot of problems, but they've decided they don't want to divorce. Financial conversations is because a lot of times financial conversations were not had before they got into this relationship. So the angle I'm even looking for it from includes conversations about how you like to spend.
Yeah,
Again, backgrounds are different.
Yeah.
There are people who were born from nothing. Yeah, people who are born with silver spoons, others are born with purple spoons, right? Wooden spoons, plastic spoons. So everybody has, and then the way the background affects how they spend, how they splurge. I know people who probably do not earn that much, but they try to make sure that at the end of every year they go on a trip to another country.
Yeah.
They save towards that.
Yeah.
For some other people who probably lacked when they were growing up and all that, that's like extravagant expenses. They don't want to make. They are thinking about putting it into maybe property or something, and so everybody's thinking is different. So before you get into a lifelong committed relationship with one person, something you hope is going to last forever, it is very important that you're clear on what your financial goals are. You're clear on how you're compatible on how you spend. Are you with somebody who wants to go to the club and buy bottles while you just want to sit at home, right, and watch Netflix? Are you with somebody who wants to go to the most expensive restaurant just because whether the food is
everybody else is going,
right? Yeah. So this I mean, none of these things are bad. Going to the club is fine. Sitting at home is fine. But you have to be with somebody whose compatibility matches yours, right? Whose energy matches yours, whose spending methods and everything matches yours. Like I always say, flourish.
Thank you so much, guys. That makes a lot of sense. So I've had conversations with women, and they always say, "Oh, you can't have a conversation about money when the man that you're dating or the man you're married with won't even tell me how much he earns or how much money he has in his account." And so men are like, "Oh, why do I have to tell her?" So if I tell her, there'll be expenses heaped up for me. There'll be lists of things that I don't even need to buy. Do you think a man is supposed to actually tell his wife about his financial capability? That's the that's like the biggest question right now. Do you think that's right? Do you think you should do that?
I think it goes both ways.
No, Roland. It's a very simple question.
Yes, I absolutely.
Why are you saying it goes both ways?
Because you have to cut your cloth according to what your coat according to your cloth, like you say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if she understands where you are, financially, it's a lot easier for her to, temper, or what's the word for it now? Reduce her expectations, match her expectations with your financial, capabilities.
Okay.
If some people lie, and it's normal. I mean, someone can have a really big car but not have money in the bank. So this person has a wonderful impression that this guy has all the money in the world, but he doesn't really have. So if the person is not able to really level with their partner, tell the person, hey, this is how much I'm really worth. Then I think that, they are going to set themselves up for failure.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that, why I said it goes both ways is that we should both inform.
I know.
We should both
I know.
inform.
So absolutely, you should let your partner know how much you're earning and how much you're worth. Chidi, what do you say?
I mean, again, I fully support it, but I also think.
Why are you always supporting
No, I also think, again, because it's correct.
Okay.
I'm not just supporting because I want to support. It's actually saying the truth.
Okay.
It's important that as somebody in an ideal world,
Mm.
right? In an ideal world where you're with somebody who is supposed to, you guys are supposed to be one, right? That's what marriage is, right? If you and I are one, I know everything about you, you know everything about me, you know how much I earn. And if anything happens to me, you know who to pursue, right? You know where to go to get all the money. So you have all my passwords, everything. If possible, we can have like a joint account, you receive signatory to everything.
Mhm.
But that means we're one. And one, not just in for the sake of being one, not just for formality's sake. We're one in heart and spirit, right?
Mhm.
I trust you the way I trust myself,
True.
right? I trust that you're not going to, based on the information you have, hurt me in any way,
Yeah.
right? So it is, but if you're not on the same page with somebody, and there are people who are in relationships like that, with no fault of theirs, they just feel that maybe age is catching up to them, maybe this is the best person in their lives, but you also understand that if I let this babe, if I let this man know how much it is I have, she might bring or he might bring burdens that I am not willing to, foot, because she feels like or he feels like I have money, right? So sometimes you want to keep this information private, but like I said, in an ideal world, in a world where this man and this babe, they love themselves, die, and they got each other's back always, and they trust each other.
Right.
Fam, you're supposed to handle every. I mean, there was one time I put out one post about if people are comfortable with sharing their live locations with their partners, right?
Okay.
Permanent live locations, so everywhere your partner is. And there are different conversations about that, right? People are like, I'm not a prisoner, and I'm like,
Oh my god.
again, I'm looking at it from the outside because right now I'm not in a relationship, but if I'm dating somebody, fam, I want you to know
What
everything
should I-
about me.
Yeah, definitely.
Because even if I'm in Kafanchan now, I want you to know I'm there. So even if you don't have my live location, I don't have my live location shared with you, I'm still gonna tell you anyway. So what's the point? How about to eliminate that I'm there, and you just know automatically. All you have to do is ask, what's happening there at this particular time, right? So my own position will always be in an ideal, perfect situation. Your spouse should know every single thing. But we also know that not all situations are perfect and ideal. So cut your coat and hurry.
No, so I have to pitch in.
Yeah.
I think something you said is instructive. You said in an ideal situation. I think what it means for me is that you have to put yourself in the right relationship. If I can't trust you with my life, I can't trust you, why should I be in a relationship with you? I mean, I'm getting that why we're having this conversation is that people are serious, they're having these conversations, they want to know. So obviously, it's for serious people.
Okay.
So if you're in a serious relationship, serious committed relationship,
Definitely.
then obviously these conversations will come up. And if they do, people should level with each other, and have those conversations and just tell the truth.
Always.
Okay, so I have a very quick question, right? I did a Q&A and that came up, so I just want to share it here because that question is directed at the men. Now, if you got married to somebody and they already have loads of landed properties, for the ladies, you get married to a woman and she's rich, she has her properties, she has landed properties, she has a lot more money than you have, or maybe you guys are just on the same level. Or rather, is it okay for her to keep these things in her name? Or would you rather she changes them to your name or the family name? Because I've had so many men say, if I marry you today, whatever you have becomes ours. So you should change the names on these properties to ours or mine even. So what do you think about this?
Well, different strokes for different folks. In my personal opinion, I think that there's this thing generally where you say your money is your money, my money is our money. That's not generally what I like to say. Now, practically, if we're going to do business together, if you have landed property, we may be able to leverage it to be able to get maybe equity or get a loan from the bank or something like that. So if that situation calls for it, it may be necessary to change names and make this in both names. But most of the time it doesn't matter. Once you show that you're married, you're doing a mortgage deal, for example, you're saying once you're married, they can accept your wife's statement of account and accept yours, and then they act like you pool resources, and then they give you a much higher mortgage. So, most of the time, you don't really need to change names. But like I said, if some people feel that that's something that gives them more comfort, why not? I just don't see any reason why, in my opinion. But of course, everything that we acquire together, we should have it in both our names. Absolutely.
Okay.
I was just going to say the last thing you said. If whatever it is you acquired as a single person, it's yours.
I know.
So I'm not gonna. You don't need to put this in my. If anybody even tells me they want to put it in, I'll be like, "Fam, this is something that you worked at. It is yours. Keep it in your name and your next of kin, right? Until we start having children. Then, if you decide you want to make one of our children your next of kin, that's fine. But I'm your next of kin by default, right? So yeah. Anyways, it is still sort of mine, anyways, right? So keep it in your name. Everything I've acquired over time, it's in my name. Whatever it is we acquire together as a couple, it's in our name. It's even so deep for me that if I get married today, I don't want my wife to change her name.
Wow, really?
This is what I think. I think if you're up to 25 years, 26, 27, you have an identity. How am I coming to take over your identity? Fam. I want you to have your own identity. If you decide you want to even hyphenate the name, I'll be honored.
Yeah.
I'll be grateful for that. I don't mind. But if you decide you don't want to change your name is, for example, Chineye Chukwuka, keep your name. If you want to add Okereke, fine, that's fine. I don't mind.
So
But
it's
you
not
want to keep your name
something
because
she
it's
has to do.
stressful.
It's
I don't have.
fine.
I
She doesn't
don't.
want to.
Yeah, and then if we decide we want to have children and our children, what surnames our children will be? If we want to hyphenate both surnames, fine, that's fine. I want you to. Our children are 50% you, 2% me. It's your identity and my identity. Let's put the identities together and flourish.
That's a new one. Interesting. I mean, I'm absolutely loving every opinion today. And the only thing that's on my mind right now is who raised this man? This is why I keep saying that these men are special. And I'm super happy that they are a part of today's show. This is the part where I draw the curtain. I've had such a fabulous time with this beautiful man. When I say beautiful, you know what I mean. Look at them. They're so beautiful. Thank you so much, Roland and Chidi, for being a part of today's episode. It's been an honor having you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching the show. I hope that you learned one or two because I definitely did. I hope that you take good care of yourself and enjoy the rest of your day.